Don't try this at home. Okay, did you catch that? I'm not gonna do it again. Hi everyone, welcome back. For today's video, I have this single parcel. In my previous haul video, I mentioned that I was anticipating a parcel, and here it is. Although this parcel did not make it into the previous haul video, I believe what's inside deserves its own video. So without wasting any more time, let's open this up. By the way, this is the first time I'm buying from this seller on Taobao. And I must say, the carton box is really adorable. Like, I don't know what these little things are, but they're so cute. Okay, enough rambling, let's open this up. Oh, one more thing before I continue, a short mini announcement. I am proud to say that I finally made it into YouTube's partner program. Yay! And this is all thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching my videos and subscribing. So yeah, this is all on you. At the moment, I've only unlocked the membership perks and I'm still trying to figure out how it works, so bear with me. However, what I'm quite excited for is the custom-made emoji and badge system, which comes with these membership perks. That's right, I've got some pretty good ideas for the illustrations of these emojis and badges, and it's all for you guys, so look forward to that. I'll definitely share more updates once I've got more progress on that. So yeah, if you wish to support this channel more, feel free to join my membership. But only if you want to. Just having you here is good enough. Yeah. Anyway, having said that, let's get on with the unboxing. I picked this figure up from a seller on Taobao, which I have never bought from before. Well, they were the only shop which I could find this figure, so I had no choice. Translated, the shop is called Meow Dimension, and I'm quite impressed by the amount of packaging protection provided. This is the first time I see foam used for a non-resin figure. Fancy. The figure is also secured into position with this cling wrap and a cardboard box below, so I'm confident she won't be damaged. Ta-da-da! Here she is! This is the 1/6 scale figure of the Black Magician Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! By Magiarts. Or Magiarts. I'm gonna call them Magiarts. Anyway, this is not a new figure and has been out for quite some time now. But I've been on a hunt for her. Unfortunately for me, I found out about this figure way too late. So by the time I was interested in finding this figure, she was way too expensive in the aftermarket. The last I saw her was in Japan, but I was not willing to pay that price for her. And yes, as you can see here, my patience has paid off. I managed to find her in the Taobao market for a fairly decent price. However, this is the first time I'm buying from this seller on Taobao. So hopefully they are reliable and gave me what was promised. This is supposed to be a brand new in-suit box figure, so let's hope everything is a-okay. So yeah, having said that, let's open this up. Compared to the figure I saw in Japan for about 39,000 yen, this figure I got was only 1,000 renminbi, which is about 145 USD. That seems more worth it, yeah? Plus, this box is definitely sealed and brand new. So it is as promised by the shop. Sure, the box seems to have some scratches here and there, but I'm assuming that's due to poor storage condition by the shop. This variant which I got was originally released in September 2023, and I bought this figure in May earlier this year. So quite amazed that I managed to find her at almost her original price of 990 renminbi. Before I bought this figure, I was trying to understand the difference between the various variants of this figure. The one I got was the original and cheapest option. Apparently, the one I saw in Japan, which was crazy expensive, is the newer electroplated version, which is a Wonderfest exclusive. Well, that explains the aftermarket price. There is also a third variant, also from Wonderfest, and she's in the manga color style. But to be honest, not a fan of this color scheme. Moving on, opening up this box and taking the blister package out, this figure comes in not just one, not two, but 3 blister packages. That's a lot. Plus a bag of silica gel. Lost, first time seeing this. Inside the very first blister package, I have a base, which is very well secured by the packaging. So much so that it took a while to take it out, as you can see here. This is the bottom base for the figure, which is just a large clear plastic base. The figure also came with some freebies, which includes this can badge featuring the illustration this figure is based on, as well as this shikishi board featuring the full illustration this figure was based on. Moving on to the next blister package, I first have these effect parts. Here is one of the effect piece, and it is in a nice pink clear plastic. As for the other effect piece, it has an additional kuribo on it. Adorable. The next item is the second part of the base, which is also secured quite tightly in this blister package. Once it's out, it's a nice backdrop base with the Black Magician Girl's magic circle pattern. Moving on to the last blister package. And inside, I first have an additional faceplate. By the way, there is also a Wonderfest exclusive face which I did not get, but that's okay. Next is a loose kuribo, followed by Black Magician Girl's pointy hat. Last but not least is the figure of the Black Magician Girl herself, in all her plastic protection. So yeah, I feel with all this plastic protection, she is definitely brand new and thankfully not sticky. And that's all the components that came with this figure. Oh wait, I missed this support rod out. Very essential piece. Although this figure is levitating, she did not come with any instructions, so I'm gonna have to wing it. First up is the giant clear plastic base. There are 2 metal pegs on it, so that's reassuring. Next is the backdrop portion of the base, and at the bottom, there are 2 holes that slots into the metal pegs. One of the peg is bigger, so you can position this backdrop correctly in this orientation. It goes in quite easily. Next is the Black Magician Girl, and she has a rectangular hole under her shoe. This basically slots into that long plastic peg on the backdrop, but not fully. It kinda just stops short there. By the way, do have that essential support rod ready to slide under her knee before the plastic peg snaps by the weight of the figure. Moving on is a mistake which you should note. The effect pieces. Don't do what I did. You should install these effect pieces first before putting the figure on the base. These effect pieces goes into these indentations at the center of the magic circle. Thankfully for me, these effect pieces slot into the base quite easily. As such, my Black Magician Girl was not harmed in the process. But seriously, don't do what I did. Install the effect pieces first, then put the figure on the base. Next is the extra faceplate, which is a closed mouth smiling face. But to be honest, I prefer what I currently have on, which is the cheeky smile with her tongue sticking out. So I'm not gonna swap this out. Moving on is Black Magician Girl's iconic pointy hat. There are some protrusions at the back of the hat, and this slot into the holes on the back of her hair. It might seem like a weird feat, but it's possible to align the peg with the holes on the hair, so be patient with this process. Last but not least is the loose kuribo. And well, this little guy does not have any pegs or magnets, so he just goes wherever you want to put him. Like over here. And that's it! Here is the 1/6 scale figure of the Black Magician Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! By Magiarts, fully assembled. I am so happy to have her here physically. This figure looks amazing. Although the variant that I picked up is supposed to be the less vibrant looking one, the colors on this figure looks amazing. So I have no regrets picking up this cheaper version compared to that electroplated color version. Zooming into the figure, starting from the top. My favorite feature of this figure is her face. Sure, she does not look like Black Magician Girl, but this rendition of her is a lot more modern and appealing to me. I especially love how detailed her green eyes are. There are stars in them. She also has a very lovely round blush, and that cute little tongue sticking out is so adorable. I just wish it was better sculpted. As for her hair, it's very nicely sculpted. The strands are flowing dynamically, which matches her floating pose. However, I'm not really a fan of the dark colors at the tips of her hair. It looks kinda dull. Moving down the figure, Black Magician Girl is dressed in her lovely iconic blue suit, which is nicely sculpted to be form-fitting, with very pretty round jewels on the collar and belt. For the paintwork, I have some very minor nitpicks. Firstly, at the pink trimmings, I do see a few blue paint marks here and there. The blue metallic paint is also not very smooth at a few spots, but overall it's not very obvious, so just a minor nitpick. As for her outfit, it's perfect to me. The fabric folds are sculpted beautifully, especially where the belly button is featured. I also adore this kuribo, which is fixed permanently to the effect piece. There is also another lovely kuribo, which is on the backdrop, but this one seems to have some white scarf on it, not caused by me. Strangely, the last kuribo is loose, so I'm just gonna put him here on the base. Okay, on to the last feature of this figure, the base. The Black Magician Girl is supported off the magic circle backdrop, like she is floating, and this sits on a large clear plastic base. I appreciate this setup since it allows me to move this figure about without dismantling and reassembling the figure. However, I'm kinda concerned that the peg supporting the figure is plastic. Sure, it's long, but plastic is dangerous for a floating figure like this. As such, that support rod is certainly essential. By the way, did I mention that her shoes look stunning? Well, it is. This is not the electroplated variant, but there is a metallic sheen in the paintwork. I'm loving how this looks, even though this is the cheaper version. As much as I love this figure, I find her stability questionable. Like if you move her about, she's gonna wobble. Don't try this at home. Okay, did you catch that? I'm not gonna do it again. My other issue is the size of this plastic base. Like, this is humongous. Look at how much real estate this is taking up. To be honest, the only area that this figure needs is the space for this support rod and this backdrop. They didn't need like all this extra area. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have a hard time finding a spot for this one. All in all, despite the flaws of the base, I still love this figure. She looks amazing and I'm so happy I found her. Most importantly, I really love the illustration this figure is based on. The illustrator is Akita Shren, and her rendition of Black Magician Girl looks so adorable. Sure, it's not anime or manga accurate, but look at her. She is so cute. So yeah, there's no way I could have resisted this. I just don't know why I missed this on my radar. Anyway, really glad to have her in my collection now. And that's it for this figure. Although this is the cheaper version of all the variants, I am satisfied. I don't need those Wonderfest exclusive versions since she looks amazing as she is. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Now I really want a Yugi figure. Not a fan of the Yugi figures currently out there, but looking forward to see what Kotobukiya cooks for their new version announced.
Several days later.
Hey guys, future me here. So it's been a few weeks since I got that previous parcel and this one just came in. So I'm gonna throw this into this video too. Anyway, this parcel is from Ninin Game and as you can see from the size, it's pretty small. So I think I've only got some price figures or small little minifigures inside. As such, I'm just gonna speed run this. Here's what's inside. Bubble wrap. Okay, the first little thing I've got is this. Yeah, okay, you probably can't tell what this is because of the bubble wrap, so let me take this out. Ta-da-dan! This is the full box set of the Kaiju No. 8 Chokorin Mascots minifigures. To be honest, I don't really see photos of how these little figures look like in real life, but I do have the Chokorin Mascots for the One Piece series, and they do look very adorable. So I'm hoping this turns out the same way. So yeah, without further ado, let me just open this up. Also, as usual, the one I'm hunting for is Hoshina. I may just stop opening the rest once I get Hoshina. Here is how the box looks like, and there are no indication on how these little minifigures looks like. So if you are curious, this is the video for you. I bought this box set for 4,600 yen, and inside, there are 6 blind boxes for all the characters in this set. Yes, you are guaranteed all the different designs if you buy the whole box, and that is how I ensure I get a Hoshina. Since these are all blind boxes, you won't know what's inside until you open them. I just want Hoshina, so I'm gonna try my luck and see how many boxes I need to pull in order to snag him. First is this box, and my first impression, why is the glue on this box so strong? I struggled so much to open this box up. There is no way anyone can open this, sneak a peek, and put it back in the box for sure. After a long struggle and breaking the box, I first got Reno. Not Hoshina, but he's cool. Each of these Chokorin mascots have a little base so they can stand, but it's not very stable. Okay, on to the second blind box. Second time's a charm, right? Please be a Hoshina. Opening up this box, and once again with a lot of struggle, this time I got Mina, not Hoshina. Well, at least she's cute. Okay, the third box. This has got to be it. And it's not. It's Kikoro. Love her hair though, looking funky. Okay, fourth box. And I'm kinda losing hope here. Yeah, it's not Hoshina. But this is quite nice, looking really cute. And I'm down to the last 2 boxes. If I don't get this right, it's proof that my Hoshina luck is horrible. And I'm gonna go with this box. Once again, I'm butchering this box. Okay, that's it. My luck for Hoshina is terrible. Kafka, you comic relief protagonist. Guys, I'm not setting you up. Okay, this has to be Hoshina. If not, I want a refund. And thankfully, it is. He is so adorable. Look at his bowl cut. Well, with my terrible luck, I opened all the blind boxes, so here they are. They are made up of a kind of rubbery material, so it's not plastic like most other minifigures. As such, they do not stand very well on their base. Other than that, they are super adorable. Even Kaiju number 8 looks very cute in this chibi form. The details of each character designs are nicely captured, especially Kikoro. I find her hair so eye-catching. Next up, I got a little box from Megahouse. A little box this size from Megahouse can only mean one thing. This must be a lookup figure. Let me open this up. Okay, I got this with the bonus item, and if I recall, based on this color, this mini lookup figure should be Shanks. Let me take him out. Yep, it's Shanks alright. I got this mini figure from Ninin Game, and I'm relieved that they actually delivered on the bonus items. There are some figurine shops that failed to deliver bonus items to me before, so I'm pretty cautious about this nowadays. I pre-ordered this guy at about 6,000 yen, which is 2,000 yen more than the actual retail price, without the bonus item. To be honest, not necessary, so don't be like me. Here is the bonus item, which is a drawstring bag. The One Piece lookup figures used to have mini accessories as the bonus items, but the newer releases seem to be getting these little bags. Not a fan of these, to be honest. The only feature that represents Shanks is the graphics on the front of the bag. And yeah, that's it. There's nothing inside as well. So yeah, just stick to the version without the bonus item if you're interested in this Shanks lookup. As for the box, he comes in the same box design as the other lookup figures. A nice big window on the front, and a color representing the character at the bottom. I can imagine, if you have a whole bunch of these, it's possible to display them all together in the box. Opening up the box, And taking the single blister package out, here is the Shanks Look Up figure. As usual, this guy has a removable head, so you can get rid of that plastic sheet. And that's it. In lookup figure form, I must say, Shanks' character design is nicely translated. I love the scars on his eye and the little uncle stubbers he has. His teeny tiny toes are also nicely sculpted. Shanks is wearing his usual outfit, and his red pants also has a glimpse of the blue flower pattern. His black cape is also nicely sculpted. As for the hair, it's in a nice red, a simple hairstyle but matches Shanks' design. Lastly, just like all other lookup figures, his head is movable, so you can pose him however you like. Having him look up makes him perfect for the bottom shelf. Okay, I don't have any scale figures in here, but the last two figures I have in here are quite highly anticipated. Let me show you what I got. These two are non-scale figures from Aniplex, and they're supposed to be the budget line of figures which Aniplex is dabbling in. They are from a series which I really love, and one of these characters is one of the characters which I have the most merch of in my collection, like merch-wise. So yeah, since it's a budget line, I decided to give it a go and see what's it like. Anyway, let me take these two out. The first one I have here is Tengen. Yes, Tengen from Demonslayer. I really love this series. Next, let me open this one up. And if you're not really sure who this is, well, since it's from Demonslayer, it's gotta be Rengoku, right? Yeah, it's Rengoku. Of course it's Rengoku. Like, how could I not get a figure of Rengoku? But you know that new figure of Rengoku that just came out for pre-order? Wow, Aniplex really just did me dirty. I already have that 1/4 scale figure and I'm questioning myself whether I should get that non-scale figure. To be honest, I'm quite tempted to. Well, we'll see. Anyway, let's focus on these two guys right now. First thing first, I'm quite pleasantly surprised that they came with these little bonus items. They seem to be acrylic keychains, so that's nice. Here is a close-up look at the keychains. They feature the illustrations these two figures are based on, where Rengoku and Tengen are in a very nice kimono. Personally, I'm just gonna keep these in their plastic wrapping and file them up in my badges file, if they can fit in it. Way before these figures were announced, I actually got the acrylic stands for this illustration. So you can imagine my pleasant surprise when Aniplex announced these two figures. I really want to display these two figures with the acrylic stands, so I had to pick them up. Thankfully, these are from Aniplex's budget line of figures, so I don't feel so bad buying more Rengoku and Tengen figures. Plus, I really love the outfits that they're in. Compared to the usual Demonslayer uniform, this is way better. I got Rengoku for about 5,000 yen, and Tengen is slightly more expensive at 6,000 yen. So price-wise, comparable with a Tennitor figure and maybe some pop-up parades. As for the box, they both have a very similar design, with a big window on the front and the top. The box is white, with pictures of the figure's face on the sides. Overall, a very clean design, and I kind of feel that it's similar to Tennitor figure boxes. I also noticed that Aniplex put themselves all over the box, especially the inside. So yeah, I know that this is by Aniplex. Okay, moving on. Opening up both the boxes and taking the blister packages out. I first have this note from Aniplex in both English and Japanese for both figures. For Tengen, he has an extra note disclaiming the inconsistencies of his scarf. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Opening up the blister packages, inside, I first have both the figures of Rengoku and Tengen in a sitting pose. Lastly are the chairs where both boys sit on. Setting these two figures up is really simple. They both just need to sit on the chair. The clothes on both figures perfectly wrap around the chairs, so slipping them onto their seats is really easy and I had no issues doing so. Now that I have one of Aniplex's first few low-budget figures in front of me, my verdict is... Dun, 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 drum roll please. Well, they are comparable to price figures. Not so much low-budget figures, but price figures. The part I will give to them is the face and the hair. Unlike most price figures, they actually nailed Rengoku and Tengen's face really well. Plus, the hair has quite a nice amount of details. It's really well sculpted. Unfortunately for the rest of the figure, it can't be compared with other low-budget figures, especially from Tengen or from the Pop-Up Parade line. Well, for some of the Pop-Up Parades at least. I'm not too sure about Maito's Gift Plus line because I don't have any figures from that line. But from the promo pictures, they look pretty good. As for Aniplex low-budget figures, well, I can't really say it matches the promo pictures exactly, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't really remember what the promo pictures looked like, but they were good enough to convince me to get these two. Although I would say, the extra bit of texturing of the fabric on their kimonos looks pretty nice. So that's a plus. Shading wise, the dark grey outer coat really needs more shading, as well as their shoes. For example, this Chokonose price figure of Tengen is similar to Aniplex Tengen in terms of shading and texture, but I can feel that the plastic used by Aniplex is of a nicer quality. The seam lines on Aniplex figures are also not as obvious, and the textured fabric certainly sets both figures apart. How about a comparison with Taito? Well, in terms of quality, I think this 2,500 yen Marin Kitagawa figure is comparable with the Aniplex figure. Both have flat colors, and both have textured fabric. So yeah, Taito is giving pretty much what Aniplex gave for less your buck. Another interesting comparison is with the Pop-Up Parades. Color-wise, this regular size yugioh has the same level of flatness. However, Good Smile does a better job at the decal work. Sorry Aniplex, I know the scarf was hand-painted but it's a mess. As for the size, yugioh is definitely smaller than Tengen and Rengoku. I think Tengen and Rengoku fall somewhere between a regular Pop-Up Parade and a large size one. Hence, against Good Smile, Aniplex asking price for about 5,000 to 6,000 yen kinda makes sense. But quality-wise, Good Smile definitely still has the upper hand, especially for the large Pop-Up Parades. Generally, they have more details, and the shading is usually pretty good. Other than Good Smile, here is Aniplex against Tengen. Compared to the Sonico figure, you can see a distinct difference in terms of the paintwork and textures. But I may be biased since the only Tengen figures I have are of vibrant colors, and that just makes me like the figures more. Truthfully speaking, the Tengen figures I have don't have much shading either, just nicer colors and a combination of gloss and matte textures. The last comparison I want to do is with this low-budget Figuarts Tengen. A shout out to Figuarts, they do have some nice figures with very dynamic poses and fantastic shading. Like this Tengen I got. It's like I just need to top up a little bit more to get a really nicely shaded Tengen figure. In a gist, I would say the sculpting of the figures are pretty decent, especially the fabric texture and the details on the shoes, as well as the hair sculpt. As for the paint job, quite lacking I would say compared to other low-budget figures. In fact, Aniplex even caveat that the paintwork on this scarf is handmade, hence it looks messy. So, bear with them. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but Tengen's hand looks kinda weird. Rengoku's hands are pretty weird looking as well. I think his fingers are way too long. At least they nailed Rengoku and Tengen's face. Like that's the most important part to me. Oh, and if you're wondering about the chairs that they're sitting on, they're quite basic looking and very lightweight as well. I kind of feel that if you push on these legs a little bit too much, they might snap off, so be careful about that. Well, even though I'm a little bit disappointed by the quality of these figures, I can accept that they're supposed to be low-budget figures and would still keep them. I mean, I definitely want this version of Rengoku and Tengen on my shelf. And that's all for today's video. For real, nothing more is coming in for the month. Quite a nice range of goodies I got this month, from a very pretty scale figure of Black Magician Girl to two very lovely looking boys in kimonos, but is lacking in terms of paintwork. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think Aniplex low budget figures are promising? They did do a good job for the face and sculpting work, but pricing wise, I think they need to be a little bit more competitive, especially since Taito and Teito are churning out pretty good stuff at a lower price. And I didn't even get into the low budget figures from China yet. So yeah, competition for this type of low budget figures is gonna be tough. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, do leave a like and subscribe with notifications to stay tuned to more videos. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!